Welcome to The Author Show, where we present new authors and books. From fiction to self-help and everything in between, you'll find it all here. To watch the TV version of our program, visit authorswebtv.com. That's authorswebtv.com. And now, let the show begin.
Hi, this is Linda Thompson, your host for The Author Show. Guest author Cindy Lewis has written a series of children's books titled Charlie and the Ghost Hunters. Today, we'll be talking about Mrs. Castle's Locket. Cindy is an accomplished children's book author, and for those of you with kids and grandkids, you'll want to learn more about how she infuses her books with history. Cindy, welcome to The Author Show.
Well, hello. I'm glad to be here.
Cindy, please give us a quick overview of Mrs. Castle's Locket.
Well, I'm a huge history buff, and the Titanic fascinated me, and I happened to have a show that came through with the Titanic, and I went to the exhibit and brought home a whole bunch of information, and the idea of a haunted locket and the kids trying to solve the mystery of where their friends disappeared to and the people on the Titanic was a wonderful story for kids to read and make them go back and look at what happened to the Titanic and the people on it.
Is there a particular age group you have in mind when you write your children's books?
I originally slated the books for 10 to 12-year-olds and preteen, and that's kind of a niche that's been captured with the books. But recently, my followings have gone into adults, and they're having to read to their children that are younger than that, so everybody's kind of enjoying the book.
How would you describe your writing style?
Off the chain sometimes, because it's like a switch that goes off in my head. It's like watching a movie. I actually see the characters, I see the kids, I see the ghosts from history, and it's like I'm telling their story and they're giving me information for the books, and the imagination's a wonderful thing, and you can just go anywhere with it.
Mrs. Castle's Locket is part of the Charlie and the Ghost Hunters series. How many books have you written about Charlie so far, and how many do you have planned?
There are 5 out at this time. The 5th one just was released a few weeks ago. It's originally slated for only like 8 or 9, but every time I turn around, a new idea comes to me, and I add another piece of history to the list, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going down a list of history items and choosing those and choosing my titles, and I'm up to 11 right now, so fingers crossed, we'll get to 11.
So what started your inspiration to write about Charlie, about ghost hunting, and then create a series?
Well, my father passed away, and it really hurt. And I got thinking about how little kids would feel, or kids in general, with the passing of a parent or a really close friend. And my grandfather's name was Charlie, which that's where Charlie came from. And then I wanted to inspire children to not be afraid of death or to talk about it and to be able to talk to their friends, their family members. I just wanted it to be an open and easy conversation. So the communication, the ghost came in because Charlie lost his parents very early, was living with his grandfather, and he wanted to find his parents as ghosts and speak to them one last time. Hence, they started the ghost hunting, him and his friends.
Without giving too much of the story away, what is the relationship between Mrs. Castle's Locket and the Titanic?
Well, a group of ghosts ended up teleporting back to the Titanic. There really hasn't been a reason or an explanation for it, but they ended up helping a passenger and helping some kids on the Titanic to get on the rescue ships. And those characters, there's some of the ghosts that stay in all the books, and there's some that go that resolve their issues. But that getting those people back to the time frame of the future was real important. And the locket ends up in the hands of one of Charlie's friends, ends up in her attic, and that's where the Titanic comes in, because it ended up in the attic of Charlie's friends. There's so many twists and turns and having people bump into each other, and you never know where the past is going to affect the future, and I just thought it was a neat way to connect the past with today.
Why did you choose to write children's books, particularly children's books that include a history lesson?
Well, I love kids. I had 4 of my own, lots of grandkids and a lot of kids that call me Grandma. I want to inspire them. I've I walk through libraries and there's just not any people in the libraries. Kids don't ask about history anymore, and there's a lot of history that doesn't even get touched in television anymore. So I wanted to pick odd pieces of history. The Titanic was an exception because it's talked about so much, but I wanted to touch on other pieces of history that didn't concern kids more or less anymore. And I want them to ask questions. I want them to read. I want them to inspire. If they can read a Charlie book and they want to sit down and write a book, it's made my day. And I just want to be able to affect and help all children around the world. I want them to read. I want them back in the libraries. And if Charlie can do that, then it's made my day.
That would make my day as well, and more power to you, because all too many kids are no longer reading, much less have an interest in history, like you said. So what kind of feedback have you gotten so far, both from your young readers and from the parents?
I was originally worried because there were so many ghost hunting things on television. And, I live in the Bible Belt, and I was worried about talking about spirits and death with children. But the feedback has been phenomenal, and I can honestly say to date, I've not had one bad review about the Charlie series, and it's always, I can't wait to read the next one, or where are you going to go into the future with, what are you going to touch on the next piece of history? And I've got, the kids and the parents, I'm getting emails daily, when's the next one going to come out? I just can't wait. Can't you write faster? And it's enjoyable to get that particular type of feedback, and I'm truly blessed.
If you could compare your Charlie books with any other, what would those other books be?
Move over Harry Potter, Charlie is here.
I like that. So what makes Mrs. Castle's Locket stand out in the crowd?
I'd say the ghosts and the characters that are, I not only have ghosts that are people, I have ghosts that are animals. And there's a bear showed up. His name is Bear, and he has just taken over the series. And he gets stuck on the Titanic too, and the adults don't see him, but the kids that were on the Titanic see him. And it's just been a blessing where my imagination can go with these characters, because you truly aren't limited where you can go and what you can do, and you just have to hang on for the ride. And I try to bring myself down to a kid's level, and okay, what do they want? What do they like to see? Not too much information, but just enough to get them asking questions, and that's my goal. And knowing the Titanic and all that, and the Haunted Locket, I know it was something that kids would enjoy.
So where can we learn more about you, about your other books, and most of all, where can we purchase Charlie and the Ghost Hunters, Mrs. Castle's Locket?
Well, I do have a website. It's www.cindyloulewis.com. My nicknames, they call me Cindy Lou. I am on Amazon. There are Kindle books available, ebooks, and there's the paperbacks that are available. There's some other things in the works, and the publishing may change, but I'll always have links and ideas where people can find the books just by searching for it. And if need be, they can email me, and it's whoCindyLou@yahoo.com, just like you said. And I was Cindy Lou before the Who.
Cindy, in the minute we have left, please share with our listeners one thing that we have not talked about that would be an incentive for them to read Mrs. Castle's Locket.
Well, kids nowadays are so busy playing outside that I would hope that when they sit down to read Mrs. Castle's Locket, it takes them to another time and another place. And when they put that book down, they look around, and then they're automatically searching to go look up stuff about the Titanic. That's what it's all about. It's about knowledge, and it's about a direction and where to go and look for it.
Cindy, it's been fun talking with you today. Thank you for sharing Charlie and his friends with us, and I hope you'll come back when you release the next book in your series.
Well, I hope you invite me, and I'd be more than happy to go over any of the books that I do. And the children's series is rocking it, and we're going to keep on going until I can't pin anymore.
As Cindy wrote in her submission package, I touch on a very difficult time in a child's life, death. My books also bring history to life in ways that the children can understand both. I hope to inspire and steer children back to reading and writing and gain an appreciation of the past. I want them asking questions and looking to the future from the past. That sounds like a very good reason to read Charlie's stories to the young people in your life. This is Linda Thompson concluding another edition of The Author Show. Please share this interview with your friends and family so that they too may have the opportunity to discover our guest and her work. And why not help spread the word on social media as well? Please join us again next time for another exciting author and another great book on The Author Show.
Thanks for listening to The Author Show. To contact us, call toll-free 1-877-955-8800. That's 877-55-8800. Or visit theauthorshow.com, theauthorshow.com. Tune in next time to another great author on The Author Show.